And this was also posted by Andy Hendricks on Reddit. It's one of our top Reddit posts as well. But from the Cardano Foundation, COTI is to offer an ADA payment processing solution for merchants. And if you go to cardanofoundation.org news, you will find the blog post from Bakit Azimkanov. Let me go back over to that. I got Windows open, so I get lost. Okay. Yeah, and so he's written a very extensive blog post. It links to a video that the video, the YouTube video will show you how the COTI payment, a notional video of how it will work using Crypto Supreme as an example. And let me see here. And so it goes into the details. Bakit wrote an extensive article there, and he linked it out to COTI's website for the universal payment solution. So if you're interested in how this COTI universal payment solution works, check out the details on Bakit's article, the post from Andy on Reddit, and the links that lead to details. But Philippe knows a little more about that. Philippe, what do you think about that? You've done a little more research.
Yes, I have a few questions. So I read the press release. I understand that COTI is another blockchain firm. I believe they're Israeli. And I had a questions about the underlying technology behind this payment rail. So if you look at COTI, COTI has their own token. It's called the COTI token. You look it up on CoinMarketCap. They have a market cap valuation of between 800,000 to 900,000. It might have increased this morning to just over a million, but relatively low in blockchain terms as far as total market cap. They have between, I think on Crunchbase, they said between 11 and 30 employees. They raised around $15 million. So they got hit pretty hard with the bear run, the bear market. So they've gone down. But the reason why I had a couple questions I had was in the press release. Once again, the press releases for crypto projects, they're always extremely opaque. So you don't understand exactly what's going on behind the scenes. They just spell out partnership, but you don't see the details. But inside the press release, they mentioned that Cardano is going to be using something called the COTI UPS, which is Universal Payment System or Services, whatever acronym they have for that. And
That's correct.
if yes, so and if you look at COTI, COTI is a DAG, so the decyclic. I forgot the
I
acronym,
forget
but
what
the
it is,
cyclic
but it's
graph.
not. It doesn't store complete blockchain on every node or something like that.
Exactly. So
It works
there's
kind of like.
directed acyclic graph.
There you
Yes.
go.
So yeah. So the problem with this is when there's block creation for Cardano, like say block creation happens in Cardano, it happens. A slot is created every 20 seconds, and blocks um, amalgamate into an epoch, and everything is structured. So the entire blockchain is running at the same time, and everyone sees those transactions happening. What with a DAG, what the issue is that there's a whole bunch of floating transactions happening all over the place, and Rick is going to, let's say, analyze the transactions that are happening in quadrant one, while I'm going to analyze the transactions that are happening in quadrant four. Susie is going to be analyzing the transactions in quadrant three, and the overlap. There's very little overlap, so they say 10,000 transactions per second. It's really unlimited. It can go forever because everyone's analyzing a small pocket of transactions. But the issue here is with DAGs, there's a double spend issue. So if I'm running a transaction, if I implement a transaction in Rick's quadrant while I'm doing a transaction in Susie's quadrant, while I'm doing a transaction in Philippe's quadrant, I can literally spend as much of the same amount of money for the same item as possible, and you can really scam the system. And the more transactions that happen means the more times that you can actually scam the system, because you'd have to have nodes that were processing individual transactions, and it becomes a mess. So COTI has this system where they said that they're preventing the double spend using some proprietary technology. They didn't elaborate, so we just have to assume that that's the case. And Charles has spoken about this as well. The the drawbacks of having a DAG. So what's the issue here? The issue here is if you read the UPS paper or the UPS section on what that UPS means for COTI, it's going to entail a I wrote the words down exactly. I don't want to misquote, but basically there's a need for a reputation system. So this ensures that the double spend doesn't happen. And the reputation system for COTI, so an individual merchant, say Rick goes into a store, purchases it using that app, Rick would build a reputation score, and that merchant would have access to that reputation score. And the issues I see here is if you have a reputation system, it leads to bias from the merchant. So an online merchant or a physical merchant could deny or deny or give service to someone just based on their reputation, and it's really subjective because say someone just kind of like steals your identity and makes a fraudulent transaction. What if you're forever barred from said merchant just because of that one issue? Although it's a good system in theory, it leads to a lot of ambiguity as far as what are the rights of the merchant versus what are the rights of the consumer. And personally, reputation systems are great, but they can lead to some sort of miscommunication between the actual merchant and the actual consumer. I don't know what COTI has in store in order to mitigate these risks, but these are some things that we need to figure out. The another thing that I wanted to talk about was the actual swapping of ADA. So as far as I'm concerned, Cardano has not hit interoperability yet. So you can scan a QR code, you pay using your ADA, and you get said product or service. So the interoperability lies that the merchant could accept your ADA, and apparently in the future you're going to be able to completely swap to fiat immediately. So the US dollar, the yen, the euro, whatever the case may be, and it's seamless. But there's a stable coin that exists in the middle, and apparently COTI has their own stable coin. It's called the COTI X. But there's not enough liquidity because, like I was saying before, it's $800,000 to $1 million market cap. So there's not enough liquidity with the COTI token itself in order to actually even process those transactions. So there has to be another stable coin. So I went on CoinMarketCap and I looked at the trading volume, and the biggest trading volume is from BitHum Global. And BitHum Global, the trading pair is from COTI to USD Tether. So they're using Tether as a stable coin in order to process those transactions. And if you actually look at their volume, it's been like $1 million all throughout, like for the past few months. It stays constant. So they obviously have merchants that are onboarded, but they use a tertiary platform, a BitHum Global, in order to make that transaction take place. So that is an issue there because that's a centralized marketplace where if they take that pair out immediately, none of those merchants that exist within the COTI network, I don't think they'll be able to transact. So, what I'm thinking is, I don't know what the partnership has to lie. I don't know if Cardano Foundation will subsidize COTI and provide some sort of added liquidity to move that COTI token,
like a buffer of ADA.
Exactly.
Here's a stack of ADA to buffer. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I think that may be the solution. Once again, I don't see anything wrong with their business model. It's just the lack of liquidity is an issue, and I want to see exactly how that's going to play with ADA. So while it's going to work on a small scale, Crypto Supreme will implement it on the shop. But if Crypto Supreme starts accepting it, Rick starts accepting it, Philippe starts accepting it, and small businesses everywhere, it's not going to work at its current scale. But everything has to start from somewhere. So I'm interested to see whether they're going to be using the COTI as a stable coin or continue using the Tether, or how these transactions are going to take place. Sorry for that.
No, those are all good points. You obviously did very extensive research, a lot more than I did. You probably just started reading and dug deep. You did a deep dive on that, obviously.
Yeah.
It's possible. Maybe we could get someone from COTI to speak more thoroughly to the technology and how it's going to work. It's possible. Maybe they will not use their native token, the COTI token on the DAG. For example, Finny, the phone, the really advanced crypto phone called the Finny,
Yes.
they had a native token on that from Siren Labs, and they don't use that token to transact everything. Like you don't even have to buy the token. They're just using it to pay a cell phone bill every month. And guess what? That didn't work out so well. Um, they didn't sell nearly as many as they thought. But you could still store Bitcoin, transact Bitcoin, and so on. So basically, what I'm getting at is maybe they won't use their native token, the COTI DAG token. Maybe it'll use ADA directly. I don't know. Because what I read on it, well, it says that COTI, it's an it's an enterprise grade fintech platform that enables cross-chain interoperability, and it's built on its own DAG-based chain. It supports extreme scalability and low transaction costs. So this is from the article on COTI, and it empowers enterprises and merchants to receive any kind of payment method and build their own payment network, and coin as a service to settle instantly. And what I read more into that, what I got from it was you can pay with fiat on COTI, right? So you can. Another part of the article said they're trying to fill in the gaps that PayPal doesn't cover. Like PayPal, you can transact with fiat, but you can't transact with crypto. COTI's trying to make it so that you can transact with both fiat and crypto. So I'm assuming the crypto just rides over top of their network technology, whatever that is. I'd be interested to hear more about it, though.
That also brings up a good point, because this issue of, let's take it from the consumer side and then let's take it from the merchant side, the idea of jumping in and out of crypto back to the native currency. So as a US citizen, both of us are US citizens, and every time you switch, it's a taxable event. So a merchant selling a service in ADA, if it jumps back to Tether and then jumps back to USD, then that's taxable twice. And the same thing if you're a consumer and you're using your credit card to purchase, you purchase crypto to purchase a product, you actually get taxed twice. So until the regulation, they're fine as a company, because I believe they're registered in Gibraltar. So whatever lenient tax laws they have in there, they're fine. But for U.S. citizens, it's not going to work at its current point at all. At all.
Yeah, this isn't financial advice, but Philippe, I learn a lot from you, man. And sometimes I tell myself, you know what? I think before I sell out, I'm going to convert it to Monero first. They track me. Screw those taxes. Not financial advice. Never listen. Convert it to Monero and sell it off. No.
That's the way to do it.
I'm thinking about it. I think I'll do a test run and see what happens.
That it's going to have to be, get a VPN.
I've been doing a podcast.
Find a DEX.
So where are you at this week, Rick? Yeah. Oh, I'm in jail. Why?
Yeah.
Tax fraud.
A bunch of us are going to be in our own jail, but yeah, I'm only paying taxes once. That's all I have to say. Not financial advice. I'm not getting double taxed.
Me too. I ain't getting double taxed no matter what. I ain't getting double taxed. I'll pay my taxes. Fair deal on taxes.